Okay, bonjour, hi. Thank you for tuning into this video and for checking out my channel. This is probably going to be my very first video, and I wanted to make it in response to a question that I've been getting asked quite a bit by my friends and those close to me. And so the title of this video, and the subject obviously, is going to be why I chose to move back with my parents at the age of 25. I don't really have like a set script or anything. I'm just going to try to freeball it, but I do have some like point form notes. So let's see how this goes. So the first section that I'm going to be addressing is the why. Why did I choose to be this way? Yeah, so why did I choose to move back with my parents? I would say the number one reason I chose to move back with my parents, I feel like a lot of people would choose to live with their parents or never even move out to begin with, is to save money. I was living in Montreal before, which is not that expensive of a city. It's pretty affordable, but I still had a lot of things to pay for, and I stopped working back in March and wasn't on any kind of assistance or anything like that, so it was really hard to keep up with my bills. And this kind of leads into another reason of why I left is the job market. Like, I was living in a Quebecois province, and as an Anglo, it was very, very difficult to find a job outside of the field that I'd been working in for the past like 5 years, which is customer service. And there's a bunch of like customer service jobs, things that fit underneath that umbrella, but I was mainly doing like what do you call it, like telecommunications, or just like customer support over the phone and chat occasionally given the job. But those were the only kind of positions that I could find as an English speaker, and it really narrowed down my possibilities there. So that's another reason why I chose to move back with my parents, is to save money and get a job here in the province that I live in that is English speaking, thankfully. So another main reason of why I chose to move back is to see my family way more often. Where I live now and where I grew up is 8 hours away from Montreal, so it's definitely a trip if I ever wanted to see them or them to come see me. It was an occasion. So I have 3 younger brothers who are growing up quite fast, and I want to be there to see them grow up. I was gone for like 5 years, so a big chunk of their childhood, and they're at that tender age where it's like we have to make a connection now or else it might never happen, you know? And also my grandparents. My grandparents are getting older. They have like different variations of their health right now, and I just want to spend as much time with them as possible before anything happens or before I regret it, you know? Another reason why, and I'd say this is a huge reason why, is that I wanted to kind of step back and take some time to plan and reflect on where I'm trying to go in life. So when I was living in Montreal, I had a lot of fun, cannot deny that, but I felt very stagnant and like I wasn't getting to the place where I wanted to be. And that's on a lot of fronts. Like, not to say I was trying to climb a social ladder or a financial ladder, but I just want to see progress and growth. And when I hit 25 back in September, it really hit me, my age, and things like making a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, and like I would always see people talking about that online or in movies, making a 5-10-year plan, and I would kind of roll my eyes and think it was really corny. But now that I got that age on me, I'm feeling the pressure on my shoulders, and I want to build myself up for a good future. So having some time to kind of slow things down, span time, think about how I've grown, kind of appreciate that, because I tend to be someone who thinks in the negative, or like I know that I'm a person that's always reaching out for more, and I never really take time to appreciate where I am and what I've done so far. So that's going to be something I'm going to try to work on, just changing my mindset, and working out more. That's going to be one of the hardest tasks, but now that I have all this free time, I want to work out more and I want to write more and just be more creative as well. I know that in the city that I was living in before, it was definitely a lot quote unquote easier to be creative, just because of the people there, the settings, the materials. Like there's a store, Photo Saint Denis, that I would go to and get my film back within 24 hours. And coming from London, where I'm like, okay, why did I dox myself? Coming from this town where there's only like one photo studio and they don't even develop film anymore, they send it to Toronto and it takes like weeks to get it back. Getting film within 24 hours was a huge luxury for me. But I am going to be going back to Montreal to visit a lot, and I'm okay with kind of slowing things down, maybe having to wait a week to get my film back, but being more satisfied with the results, because I wasn't doing as much when I was in Montreal, even though I had the possibility and capability to. So I'm looking forward to that. And now I kind of have a pros and cons list, but I split it into the categories of fears and hopes. So I'm going to go into my hopes first, because let's start it off on a high note. So one of the biggest things I hope to do while I'm here is to start my own small business or social enterprise. And I want to do this because I don't want to work for anyone else anymore. I just want to be creative, make stuff that I feel contributes to the world in a positive way, and not like I'm working for some company, just being a cog in the system, doing the monotonous day after day, 5 days a week work schedule, and only having time on weekends to enjoy myself. I've always had this kind of vision of how I want my life to go. I'd never wanted to be traditional or conventional, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a daunting task for me, starting my own small business or social enterprise, just because I'm not huge on economics. I kind of like economics. I hate it. And I'm not a capitalist. I'm very anti-capitalist. So it's going to be interesting kind of integrating and finding my way through the business world and through this lens. It's going to be, wish me luck. Another thing I really wanted to do is start my YouTube channel. And I think that living here, I have more time and like resources to do so, just because I don't have to like go grocery shopping or worry about money and stress about my bills. I feel like those things were the things that made me the most depressed when I was living in Montreal. So now that I have that off my shoulders and I have some space, even though it's louder here, but an area kind of carved out for myself in my house, in a small time frame in which I can film, I feel like I'll have a schedule down and I'll be able to put out more videos, because I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. So hopefully I can get somewhere with that. And I just want the two to be successful, my business and my YouTube, and obviously not in like in a numbers way or in a income way, but just in a way that I feel like I'm producing things and I'm producing enough to support myself, live within my own means, which is not great at all. I just need a couple bucks, you know. I'm not that high maintenance. Another reason that I wanted to move back in with my parents, and it kind of sounds like how would you say that? It sounds like the opposite. But I want to be more independent, and living with my parents, you would think that like that's kind of a move towards like codependency, but in fact but it's not. Okay, let me try that again. When I was living in Montreal, I'm going to be very transparent. I made $20,000 last year, and that was enough for me, honestly. It was within my means. I couldn't have asked for more, but I couldn't have asked for more. I could have asked for more, but like I didn't need more is what I'm trying to say. I was fed well, able to do things, able to buy things, able to donate, and I wasn't struggling super, super hard. But that being said, I wasn't paying my own rent. And not that my rent was like crazy expensive, but I just felt like very codependent, having to remind my parents to send the rent check, and yeah, I just felt like a strain, especially at 25 years old. I think this is the time that most people think that their kid would be pretty independent, and I wasn't on that level. And not to say that there's like ages and a specific timeline that anyone has to like conform to, because I super, super hate thinking that there's a timeline or there's one way to do things and that's the only way to do things. I do not subscribe to that. But that being said, I do feel as though the path that I was going on and the things that I was doing weren't helping me become more independent, and having this kind of reflection, slow down period is going to help me get there. And like when I say more independent, I mainly just mean making my own income and being able to live on my own. I had a roommate back in Montreal, and I really, really, really had nothing against my roommate. They were a great roommate, but I would love to live by myself. Living by myself is the dream. The more I grow up, the more I kind of retract back to my teenage years and the dream or fantasy I had of just living completely alone, isolated in the woods, don't need nobody, don't want nobody, don't need any distractions, just need time for me and myself. So yeah, I really hope to gain some independence after living here for say a year. I really just want it to be a year, hopefully not longer than a year. But yeah, I want to live on my own and be independent. And now, to counteract that statement, I also want to put this in here as another big reason or hope that I have, and I'm gonna be vulnerable with you guys. And I don't know, I'm not great at being vulnerable, but here we go. And we've been keeping in touch and keeping in love for the last year or so. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, let me try this again. I'll try to say this. I hate talking. I hate being vulnerable. This is so hard. But another hope that I have, and I don't even think I've communicated this with them, so newsflash, shell shock, is that I want to move in with my partner. I have this fantasy of us moving in somewhere and having a cat and being cute and getting to spend a lot more time together, because we are in a long distance relationship right now and borders are opening up, and we're both in a place where we're kind of in limbo. We don't know where we want to go, but we both want to be together. So that's the thing that I'm hoping for, is to get enough money to save up enough so that I can move in with them wherever that might be, whether it's in Canada or in the States or internationally. I hope that we can do that. It's my biggest dream, because it's hard being long distance, and sometimes, I don't know, you just want to live with someone, see how that works out, if it's even plausible, and go from there. So let's get into the fears. I have quite a few fears. I think they're normal fears, hopefully. Hopefully I'm not too abnormal. But my fears / cons are getting distracted while I'm here, but in a different way than I was distracted in Montreal. So kind of just being in the day-to-day. If I find a job, then I'd be too consumed in my job to kind of want to come home and create stuff or make videos. Other things would get in the way of me creating. Why am I so word bubbly today? I don't know why.
Anyway, so
helping with pickups and drop-offs and little home duties, and I guess that's domestic duties, domestic-ish. Yeah, that's not for me. I'm not fond of it. I will definitely do what I need to do to help out around the house and carry my weight, but I don't want it to consume too much of my time, because I can't say that I spent a year doing dishes. That's not productive in the way that I want to be productive. Another fear that I have is that I'm just going to fail at everything that I'm trying to do with my small business / social enterprise, with my YouTube, with my relationship. It all just kind of fails, goes nowhere, and I just end up being depressed and living with my parents forever. That's a very valid and huge fear of mine. And another fear that kind of piggybacks off of that is people witnessing my failure. Like, I am a quite private person and I don't like opening up and being vulnerable, which is one of the reasons why I decided to make this channel, is to kind of get used to talking in front of the camera, being open with people, upping my communication, because I feel like I hold a lot of stuff in and I don't really say stuff to many people. So yeah, I'm gonna try to be more public about things and like open up about how I'm feeling towards things, and just like let people into my life. It's not that exciting, but like it's my life. And if people are witnessing that and like just seeing no progress, me still being broke, me still being lonely, me maybe even being single after this video if my partner doesn't feel the same way. But yeah, that's all very, very scary to me, and I don't want any of these fears to come true. And I'm gonna just kind of try to focus on my hopes, because like I said, changing my mindset is a huge thing that I'm gonna be trying to do this year, and trying to think more positively, and maybe trying those like positive, what are they called, reinforcements, or those mantras that I always see on TikTok that people are like, I don't attract what doesn't attract me, I attract what I need, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And see that my attitude towards it already, but I'm gonna try to be more positive and think in that outlook. Yeah. And so those are the reasons why I chose to move back into my parents' basement at the age of 25. If anyone's been in a similar situation, either now, in the past, or considering it for the future, please share. Please have some convos with me in the comments. I would super, super appreciate that, and it would make me feel a lot less alone and like a semi-loser. But yeah, thank you for watching, and have a